We're back out on the bass buggy, and today we're talking bank fishing. Specifically, tips to get you more bass and have fewer snags. Stay with us, it's going to be a good one. Remember, to celebrate the rapid growth of this channel, the first week of May I'll be having a subscriber giveaway. So remember to subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment below, and give this video a big thumbs up. Thanks. Welcome back to Lowbrow Fishing, and today we're talking bank fishing. Sometimes you just feel like fishing from the bank, or you just don't have the money to afford a boat. A lot of anglers just don't have the ability to get out on the water in a boat. Whether you have budget limitations or you just don't want to, you prefer fishing from the bank. The problem with bank fishing, though, is you're dragging the bait uphill. And the more you drag it uphill, the more you have to go through vegetation that tends to grow close to the shore. The deeper you get in a boat, you don't have to deal with that problem. You can throw those lipless crankbaits, or you can throw those deep crankbaits and not have to worry about coming up with gobs of slop on every single cast. Here's a few of the methods that I use when we go out on the water, and I'll show you. First up, we're going to be using a jerkbait, but we're not going to be using it like you would in the fall. We're going to be putting some effort and some action into this. As that water heats up, those fish are becoming more active, and I find that you actually do better when you work it with a quicker pace. Let's go out on the water and take a look, and I'll show you. Always check for snakes. Got him. Oh, he spit me. He spit me. That's all right. Right there by the bank. But I got a feeling the reason why I'm bombing it way out there is because I got a feeling those fish are deep. Ah, there we go. There we go. Come on, buddy. Stay down. Up and in. There he is. That is not a bad one either. Ooh, alright. Oops, come on. Let go on the string. He hit it pretty good. He hit it with some force and some gusto. A pound. Just get a beautiful look at him. Alright, I am going to take a picture with his butt, and we are going to get him right back in the water, because that's how we do around here. Where the sun is in my face. All right. Thanks for playing, buddy. There he goes. All right. We're going to go right back out there, see if we can get another one. As soon as I get my butt untangled here. And that fish right there was about the lake average. Maybe a little bit bigger than the lake average. The fish in here are not huge. Reel it back down. And he'll hopefully go tell his big sister. There we go, got another one. Second cast right behind it. Back-to-back cast. Oh, he's a lot smaller. This guy's a lot smaller, but as you can see from the bank working that jerkbait, I'm gonna have to get the pliers. If you can't get the hook out easily, don't sit there and fight with the thing. Go ahead and grab the oops, wrong side. Go ahead and grab the pliers and get that hook, get that fish free. There we go. All right. Half pound if he's got rocks in his pockets. I'm going to take a picture of that one, but that's 2 in a row. Back-to-back cast. Let's see if we can make it a three-peat. Wind it down and then work it. Give it some good jerks. You want to make sure that you're giving it a good bit of action. These fish in this warm water, these fish are pretty active. In the wintertime, you would be going much, much slower. But here we're trying to cover water, and we know those fish are going to be very active today. That water is warm. Probably in the mid-70s. Maybe even higher than that. And as far as my reel, I've got 10-pound braid running to a 10-pound leader. This is my light spinning combo. And a smaller jerkbait. This is how I prefer to fish a small jerkbait like this. Next up, we have a lipless crankbait. A lot of anglers can really struggle with these, especially in heavily vegetated areas. They pull up nothing but gunk on cast after cast, and that can be very frustrating and a real problem. So let's go in the water and I'll show you how I deal with it. Now we've got the 6th Sense Quake 70. I believe it's a 9/16 weight. It's pretty heavy for a lipless crank, but that's what we're going to be working right now. And again, this lake's got a lot of little vegetation in it, so it's going to be it's always a challenge to keep these above the grass, but you can do it. Keep your rod tip high, vary your retrieve. I'm using, I've got 12-pound fluoro bait caster with a 6.4 to 1 gear ratio because that's what I like working for my crankbaits. I do want to kind of slow it down, give it little quick pauses, but the thing is if you pause it too much, it dives down into that grass and you come back when you got gunk all over your hooks and it totally fouls the action of the bait. So that one did pretty good. So I try to keep my bait up in the water column just a little bit. And I am working it kind of fast, but I am varying the speed too. I'm making sure that as I'm reeling it in, I'm trying to give some random stops and pauses and try to go a little bit faster here, a little bit slower there. And I am trying to get it out there as far as I can, yes. One of the keys to being a bank fisherman is you're going to have to make long casts. So if you want to get it to the deep water, you got to use your arm and throw it there. And lastly, we have my secret Ned rig trick. For those of us who are bank fishing in heavily vegetated or heavily structured areas, a Ned rig doesn't really do very good. They tend to snag on everything. Not just with an exposed hook, but that mushroom head and that line tie tend to get in the way and get snagged on everything. The Ned rig trick is something I did a video on quite a while ago that you can go check out. I'll do a quick recap in this video and then I'll show you how I fish it. Let's go take a look. We're rigging up my special Ned rig, my Texas rig Ned rig. The first thing we want to do here is, let's find an easy one. Get the bobber stop on. See that hole in the wire right there? We want to put the string through that, and we're just going to slide that bobber stop on. Right like there. Then slide it all the way up out of the way. And we want this to be finessey, so we're taking a 1/8 ounce bullet weight and a 1/0 worm hook, not wide gap, not EWG. Texas. Rig it like you would any other Texas bait, just you do it real tiny. And the reason why I do this is to make sure I get quite a bit of, make sure that tail, still get quite a bit of movement on that tail. It's a very small presentation. You can fish it like a Ned rig, Texas rig. Just cast it out there, let it sink to the bottom, and it casts quite a ways. So you let that sink to the bottom, and then you're working on a slack line. You don't impart a lot of action to it. You're trying to keep that quite a bit of slack in that line. And you're watching your line for bites. And I'm working primarily on a slack line, and I'm looking for that line to move. If something has it, that line starts running off, or I go to pick up on it, it feels like a wet sack of taters. I'm using a very finessey setup, but like I said, if you've seen that other video I did with this, it goes more in detail how I rig it, how I set it up. But you see, this is perfect for bank fishermen, especially bank fishermen in the deep south or anywhere that's got a lot of cover, anywhere that's got a lot of vegetation, a lot of hydrilla or grass, or, well, even it'll do good in laydowns too. Wooden laydowns, it does pretty good. You can work it nice and slow. I'm getting it over 100 feet out there, so like I said, you're just letting it sit, letting it soak, and you just work it back to you, and work it back to you, just a little bit at a time. You know, thank Bob Ross. Oh, I don't know, and maybe in our world, we've got a little fluffy cloud, and he's got a friend, and it's decision time. Where does that friend live? And in our world, he can be wherever he wants it to be. So have Bob Ross going through your head while you're thinking of, or have Bob Ross go through your head while you're fishing this bait. That's how slow and chill you need to be fishing this. So there you have it. Hopefully you'll be able to keep your hooks a little bit cleaner with those 3 ways, and you'll end up with a few more bass. As the water heats up and the spring rolls into summer, you'll find that those bass are becoming more active. So don't forget, faster presentations, especially on bodies of water that aren't as pressured as a major lake, generally get more bites as those bass react. If the ponds or small lakes that you're fishing are heavily pressured, or those fish are just lethargic, then don't be afraid to slow things down. I'm sure you'll find my little Ned rig trick to be quite helpful in those situations. Thanks for watching Lowbrow Fishing. We'll catch you in the next one.